yeah. Okay. I don't know why I thought one of them was bigger.
Thank God they're not.
Yeah, right? Okay,
But,
cool.
he's the first one we have, so Boomer.
The one that's had the training?
Yes.
Okay,
So, and then there's Archie.
I got you. Okay.
Crazy, but,
Well, yeah, let's let him out first. Take a look at things here and then.
you got some plans. Come here.
Tough guy.
You're gonna run out of. Okay.
Now you said, so you've done a little bit of training with him before. You said you did some e-collar training with him?
We do have one.
Okay, cool.
It was just a lot of personal things came up in both
I
of
gotcha.
our lives. And
Yeah, that's okay.
We kind of let it go. So.
Do you have the e-collar like charged and handy by chance?
I do.
Why don't you go ahead and get it, and we're gonna get him get it put on. Have you guys lived here for a while?
We just moved in the end of August.
Yeah?
Right before Labor Day. So.
Nice. How long ago did you do your training?
So when we moved, it's probably about October, November. We finished in November, early
Yeah,
November.
I got you.
So yeah, that was about the last time he was.
So it's fairly recently then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he does well.
Yeah.
Well, I'll probably show you. I'll probably make me a liar.
Yeah, right.
He does okay.
They're good at that.
Yes. Yeah, buddy. Can't remember how to do this thing.
Out of curiosity, where was it that you did the training at?
It was called Turning Point.
Oh, with Anthony, did you work with? Yeah, I know Anthony. Okay, cool.
And then he met that one on the last day of training.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh boy. Make sure I do this right.
Was it primarily just like obedience training and stuff you did there?
Yeah, he did the assessment, and Boomer's definitely not fearful or
I gotcha.
anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He's just very territorial
Sure.
and all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Archie's fearful. He's very.
Sure. And Archie is the one that's going after him, you said? But it sounded like over the phone, he was kind of being a little territorial of stuff, which may have been kind of instigating it.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, Archie just doesn't know what to do with,
Yeah,
what
I
his
gotcha.
impression is, or what he's,
Yeah, sure.
whining about or anything, so.
Okay. Well, let's do this. I'm going to take your leash here
Okay.
and your e-collar.
Okay.
And why don't you go ahead and get the other dog leashed up and bring him on out? And we'll just kind of keep them apart, obviously, for now. I just want to see what they do when they see each other. When's the last time you've had them together?
It was probably 2 weeks ago. So Archie stays at Matt's parents'
Yes.
house, and about 2 weeks ago, we got them, and I'm like, oh man, this isn't gonna work again.
Yeah.
But they just walked in and they sniffed each other, and I'm like, oh thank God.
Mm-hmm.
And then Boomer went outside,
Yeah.
and Archie saw him like come in from outside and like get unclipped
Yeah.
from the leash, and that's the only thing I could think of that set Archie off, and
Yeah.
he just went for him. So
And again, forgive me, I know we talked about some of this, but injuries between the two of them?
Archie has bit Boomer's ear and gotten a real good hold of it.
Yeah. And does he kind of grab and hold, or?
Yeah, he won't.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even.
Yep.
Boomer likes to eat stuff outside, so I'm very well versed in prying
Sure.
mouth, so I could not get
Yeah.
his mouth unlatched. So
Yeah. Maybe he's part pit bull, you know?
he's missing like 5 teeth, so I'm not worried after a point. I'm like, he's not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do it. And he didn't, thankfully.
Good.
But yeah, that was pretty scary. I mean, it was.
So he's got hold of the ear, but no big injury from it. Okay, that's good. That's positive. All right.
He does like latch on the back, like he'll.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Okay. And does he usually fight back a whole lot?
Boomer doesn't. He'll growl. He's
Yeah.
very mouthy, but he won't
Yeah.
go towards anybody. Even dogs outside and stuff, like he'll
Yeah.
lunge to a point and then he'll back.
But like when he's going after him, like he won't really fight back a whole lot.
He'll get up on his hind legs type of thing just to be bigger, but
Yeah.
he won't bite.
I understand. Okay. All right.
At least we haven't let it get to.
Yeah. No, I understand. Okay. Now, what sorts of things outside of each other get them like set off?
With him, it's other dogs.
Okay. Yeah.
With Archie, it's
Come on. Sit. I got you.
Actually, I should take that back. Archie is aggressive with both dogs and people. Boomer is excited by people. He's fine once they pet him.
Yeah.
He's aggressive towards other dogs. So
I got you.
both of us are.
Okay. And what's the extent of their socialization? Like, has it primarily just been like meeting other dogs on leash and stuff, or?
So I used to
Sit.
take Boomer to the dog park and stuff when we first got him, like over a year ago.
Yeah.
He did really well there, kind of kept to himself. He's been around, they've both been around family dogs a lot. Off leash, on leash. They're fine. Of course, they're not in their environment
Sure.
when those interactions happen, but they've never heard a fly in any of those situations.
I got you. Okay. Come, buddy. Sit. Good. I'm gonna have you just totally ignore him here. So all I want to do right now is if he does start kind of lighting up at him, I want to see if I can disengage him like that. I want to see him disengage, obviously, from that overstimulation. And I don't have literally any expectation of what he does aside from disengage from that, right? And I'm kind of individually trying to see how they respond to this stuff, you know? Pretty good. Good. Perfect.
Boomer's fighting back for all the things he couldn't
Yeah, right?
say to him. Okay.
Same deal, just little by little moving a little bit closer.
Also, another dog.
Oh, no problem. We got excitement coming from everywhere. Okay.
Hi, Boomer.
So right now all I'm doing is just kind of seeing how individually they respond to things. So kind of when I'm focused on him, I'm not worried about him, vice versa. No interactions or anything yet. So with him, because he had done the training already, I just kind of tested a couple of his commands. Seems relatively good, you know, maybe a little rusty with some of them, but all in all pretty good, obviously. And then in his case, biggest thing I wanted to see, because his reactivity was so intense towards him, is if I can get him to disengage from him with the e-collar, which he was very reliable with as well.
Really?
So yeah. So I mean, obviously right now we have him. I was kind of right before you came in.
One-sided.
Yeah, incrementing kind of, going a little bit closer, obviously. And as he started barking at him, what I wanted to see is him either not do anything, or if he started getting stressed out, actually disengage and move the other way, which he was doing a phenomenal job with.
Awesome.
So,
So that's
so pot, again, I mean, none of this is like, you know, you're gonna have, no. There we go. So that's what I want to see, is that I could redirect, and if I do discipline for something, that he understands an alternative, right? I get stressed out, I just put myself somewhere else, as opposed to I get stressed out, I fight, right? So, like I said, all in all positive. And again, none of this is going to like fix all your problems tonight by any means, but it's showing an ability to kind of process this stuff and work through it.
Right.
So,
So it's kind of conditioning. Every time he wants to get aggressive, he'll associate the collar with.
slightly. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, right? Ultimately, my goal is not to have them just ignore each other. I want them to learn how to interact properly. But sometimes when these things start at just like level 10 like this, we got to just bring it down a couple notches so that we can then do that, right? So initially, it's kind of like the concept of like, if you don't have anything nice to say, like don't say anything at all, you know? From there, we go about the process of actually introducing them. So, like I said, very, very positive to start here. So you know, basically, I think we talked about this a little over the phone. A lot of times we have dogs that are getting into fights with each other. What happens is they're good a lot of the time, but then anytime there's like a major spike in arousal, right, it can trigger the fights like that, right? So somebody knocks at the door, you get home and suddenly the energy level goes through the roof, one of them goes outside and comes back in, whatever it may be, obviously. So usually what I recommend is, not that I'm against having dogs on the furniture or this or that, right? Like those are your rules ultimately, but any of the really high aroused kind of behaviors, like you come home and they jump all over you and stuff like that, to try to set some boundaries with those things and get those under control. And the goal is kind of that we want to make the exciting things slightly less exciting and the scary things like a little bit less scary. And we kind of get them to exist in this like harmonious balance in the middle. You know what I mean? So if we were to kind of move forward with some sort of training, that would be something we probably would set some rules to, jumping and things like that. So kind of be prepared for some of that. But this is good. Again, right now, initial goal, just coexist. They're on leashes. You don't even need to worry about each other right now. Worry about the person that's at the end of the leash. And obviously this is pretty positive here to start. So. It's pretty good. I'm shocked he's not jumping on you guys right now.
It's his favorite carpet.
I see that.
He sticks his nose like in the carpet. I'm
Yeah.
like, you can't breathe. There's no way.
Hilarious. Yeah, and it seems like for the most part, Boomer's just kind of minding his own business now,
Yeah,
especially now that we have him kind of de-escalated a little bit. So this is very positive. So, like I said, we're not going to move mountains today by any means, but just looking for some neutrality.
Yeah.
That's all I'm looking for here. Good.
Yeah, there are a lot of, I should say a lot, but a few dogs that are off leash around here, and they're very calm and
Yeah.
great, but not to,
Yeah.
these guys see them as, devils, so.
They still have that like little dog park in the corner or whatever in the
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, both of them are very instinctual,
Yeah.
and they have high prey drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of they butt heads a little bit.
That's all. Yeah, that's all like we talked about over the phone, the impulse control stuff. That's what literally all of this is, right? The impulsiveness of trying to react to each other, impulsiveness of the doorway, impulsiveness of the jumping, the prey, this, that. And the problem is, again, if we don't kind of teach them to control that, they're going to wind up just taking it out on each other. And that's what you guys are seeing. So, but this is good, again, I'm sure they definitely don't like each other still right now, but they're learning to coexist a little bit better. So. A lot of times that's kind of the first goal.
Yeah.
Just exist.
Initially, Boomer's not a playful dog. He
Sure.
likes his own toys. He likes his own thing. And Archie's very I want to.
Oh, yeah.
So initially we were like, oh, come on, Boomer, let's just, play. And then it started to get, he was more more territorial.
Yeah.
Archie just saw that as like, hey, I'm just trying to play with you, bud. You're like growling at me.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not growling at you, he's growling at the toys. It's the whole thing.
All right, why don't you guys go ahead and walk past and go kind of sit on that futon over there. I just want to see if that creates any. No. So obviously that jumping right there corrected for. Now, typically speaking, in an ideal world, we'd have both of them on e-collars here so that if they, if we did drop the leashes and they try to get into it, we could intervene immediately with both. And then same deal, this kind of pawing at you and stuff. Yeah, it's cute and all this and that, but all this is he's stressed out right now and he's like, Dad, come on. Like, what the heck is going on? Can you do something about this,
Use me to like alleviate.
Yeah.
the stress.
And you'll see this turn into territorial behaviors because he feels like when he gets himself into these states of mind, he's like the last line of defense, right? Like he is backed up against a wall next to you. It's like, Dad is the last place I could be. So if he starts invading into space, he's gonna be much more likely to growl and snap and this and that. So by setting those boundaries with those things, we get them to kind of go and like figure it out on their own a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna have you guys get up and walk back into the kitchen again. Oops, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
There we go. No?
No.
There we go. So same deal, just addressing that jumping there. We'll give him a second, then I'll have you guys walk back in one more time. All right, why don't you guys go ahead and go back in. Very good. Not too shabby, buddy.
The light bulb's turning on, isn't it, Archie?
And he's figuring it out, right? We're setting very clear, very consistent boundaries right now. It's like, I'll go under here.
Yeah. Huge proponent of under everything.
All right, and you guys can get up one more time and go back in the kitchen. There we go. And notice that time was the first time the tail went up and started wagging when you went by, but he didn't feel this need to like, what are you guys doing, right? Which again, we're seeing the adrenaline kind of come down and see less of those spikes and arousal from it. Yeah. It's like, this is boring. Cool. Yeah, he's like, I'll just hang out right here. He's like, I'll lay right here. You could drop his leash.
Drop it?
Yeah, you're good. So we'll let him hang out here for a minute and then we're gonna end that on that with them. Keep it successful and on a good note. And again, a part of this is just they're like, we don't know what's going on right now. So what's happening is they're becoming more concerned with us and less concerned with each other, which again, that's an okay place to start with this. So, yeah, yeah.
You're on your way to a sleepover soon.
Yeah, look at that. Just wait till he squeezes over in that other spot right there.
Unless I'm on the home to go
He's ready to sleep. And like I said, I feel pretty confident that these issues are less about each other and more about just the general impulse control and structure. So I think that's definitely a positive as well. So, I mean, this is great. I mean, they're chilling, snoozing next to each other right now, which is obviously positive. Yeah, right. Need permission to like, you could get on your dog a little bit over some of this. Like how we were given some bigger corrections for them for a couple of things. Like they, ultimately like there's a difference between obedience training and teaching things with low levels and, getting everything acclimated and stuff that way versus like we need to stop a behavior right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes it's also just communicating those things clearly as well and making sure you guys feel empowered to be able to do those things. So
It's just, being comfortable, like living in an apartment. Like,
Yeah,
where there's
sure.
dogs everywhere, and like those poor dogs aren't doing anything.
it's all the more reason to get it under control because you have more distractions going on around you, obviously.
Yeah. Plus
So.
the manager's one of the dogs that has.
Oh, really?
I'm like, you can't be going after poor Joe down there.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything. So.
Cool. Well, I'll let you guys think about it, talk it over, see if you guys have any other questions you can think of about anything. And then if you guys do want to kind of get cruising with something, just shoot me a call back. We could talk about how we want to move forward from there.
Excellent, thank you so
Great.
much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah.